owners that have great great credit and can put down a significant amount of money, and they're being penalized. What's your take on that?
Well, that's a great question. So for those of you who don't know, Karen, do you want to explain it?
Yeah, I can do that. So what's happening is May 1st, according to the news, Joe Biden has implemented a new penalty for homeowners that have good credit and who also have the ability to put down 15 or 20% income as a down payment. So they don't have a PMI, and they're calling it a fee, but it really is a penalty to the people that have worked very hard to have this credit basis. And they're targeting, for example, a $400,000 purchase will implement a $14,000 fee to those people. And they're stating that the reason they're implementing this is because they are feeling that there are people that can't afford homes, and we can expect foreclosures and such like that. And they're trying to, offset the losses that they're going to experience. That's how I'm reading it. And that's how some of the people that I've been talking to are understanding it as well. Maybe I'm not understanding it properly, but I think that this is significant. And we as realtors need to know what we can do to stop this, because this is going to hurt us in the long run.
So I'll just say, I'm not going to get into the political side of it either way, but I do know that this is a real thing. And literally right before we started this, I sent over an addendum to change it closing from May 1st to this Friday, because the seller, if she closes on May 1st, will have that hit her, and it's going to charge her. It's a $400,000 house, just like you mentioned, and her mortgage will go up $40 a month. So I do know that it's a factual thing that it is in place as of May 1st. So it is something I think maybe we can have one of our lenders hop on and kind of explain the nuances in it. Because I don't want to talk too much in detail because I don't know that much about it, but I do know that it's real, because I can show you the addendum I just emailed over, changing the date to this Friday. Because if not, then she's going to be penalized with that. So yeah, it's real. So I think we should all just.
How could they pass it so quickly? How could they put it out there? I mean, it's like it came out of nowhere. We weren't even forewarned. Usually it's a buildup saying that this is going to happen. All of a sudden, just within the past 2 days, or 4 days, we just found out about it. What the heck?
What is it called? What is it called?
And you're absolutely right. We were blindsided.
How could they do that?
We did not know this, and it hit the news. And then, of course, people were saying, are you really watching the right news forecast? So on and so forth, because some people spin it. So I waited and waited, and sure enough, it absolutely hit the real news. And my question is, just like you, Tricia, how the heck did this get through without us being aware? We were so busy worrying about all this other stuff with the woke and the transgender stuff that we weren't able to focus on this, and they slid it underneath us, and here we are.
Trying to answer your question, I don't know the name of the
is it like a bill, a law? What would
the bill or what it is, but
yeah, it's a bill.
Yeah, so we'll look into that. Maybe next week we can have some more information. We can have one of our lenders jump on, but for this week we're going to jump into module 2. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. Other than that, did everyone have a good weekend? Tanya, sorry for canceling. Tanya was going to do an open house for me on Saturday for a beautiful house in Rock Hill, and unfortunately, we went under contract Friday night. Yeah, so it was one of those situations where they put in an offer. They expired 9 p.m. Friday night because they did not want us to go to open house, and my clients decided to take that offer, right?
Okay.
And again, this is really on our rev up, but think about that decision from a seller's point of view, right? Like, I already have a great offer, but if I go into the weekend, maybe I'll get 5 more offers and I can raise it up a lot more, right? So some of the things that I presented to them and let them make that decision was, It went live Thursday morning. I had a showing within minutes request.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, this is going to be great, right? It was showing for Friday at noon. I didn't have any other requests, right? We had an open house scheduled for Saturday. I didn't get any calls about the open house. We had one showing request, one showing, right? And it was the people that put in that offer. So I presented to them, hey, we don't have 10 other showing requests, right? Which we might have expected. I haven't had one other agent call me about the open house. We can risk it and lose this offer, or we can take it and this is above what you wanted, and that was what I presented to them, and I let them make the decision that was best for them. They thought about it for an hour or two, and it was what, 8 or 8:30 when I was texting you, Tanya, about it. It was pretty late on Friday night that they decided to take it before that expired. But I felt like that was the best option for them to do. Because the problem is if you go through the open house and we don't have that traction, which I had a weird feeling that we weren't, then that buyer can change their offer, right? Now they've got more control. So it's just a situation where I just felt like it was the right thing for them to do. And as a realtor, you gotta, guide them in the right direction, but let them make their own decision. But yeah, so that was what I was doing with on a Friday night. But so again, sorry to cancel on you. I'll definitely I'll let you have the next one.
No, it was good because we still made it out to Rock Hill that afternoon, the
Mhm.
downtown Rock Hill, and explored it and stuff. And the couple that we went to, they're actually looking to invest probably in Airbnbs. And so
Nice.
the guy that the couple, I was talking to him, and he's like, well, Tanya, that house is listed the to the right and to the left. Those houses look pretty shabby. I think it's priced too high. And I was like, look, it went under contract within 48 hours. I'm like, so I don't think it's priced too high. And look where it's like walking distance too. Because we were exploring Rock Hill, and he was like, man, that would be like a good Airbnb kind of thing,
Yeah,
So
especially with the setup. So so today we're doing RevUp module 2, establishing your brand and developing your farm. Tanya,
Well,
again, go ahead.
Was there supposed to be paperwork that we got? Because I was reading the email and it says something about downloading.
Enough of that. I'll send out some material afterwards on this one.
Okay.
So this is our weekly affirmation for this one. I've written goals in all key areas of my life, and I love to track my activities and results, seeing the progress I am making. Does anyone do this? That writes their goals down and tracks them? No.
in my head,
Karen
I don't
does.
really write them down.
I do. This doesn't have all of it on here, but I have a notepad, and I every week write down what I want to accomplish and keep track of the calls that I make and the things like that. So I find it helpful. You guys don't have to do it, obviously, but
I do
so
it
today we're gonna
too.
go over kind of our value proposition, our branding, our signatures, our voicemail greetings, all that good stuff. We're gonna go into farming. So we'll dive into those couple of things. So what is your one value proposition for your client attraction, right? And what does that mean, right? So that's, when I think of this, like what's your elevator pitch, right? So Tanya, for you, you met with some clients, you guys went to Rock Hill. What is your, quick little 30-second elevator pitch why they should use you as an agent over someone else?
I don't have one. Hold on, let me think.
You don't have to give me your whole pitch, but what are some things about you that makes you the good qualities for you to be an agent? And someone else can jump in first. Trisha, you've got a lot of experience. What are some things that make you a good agent and why people want to work with you?
I'm not overly aggressive. I'm not salesy.
Gotcha. Okay. Karen, what's some of your stuff? I know you've got a list.
Well, I allow my personality to be evident when I'm speaking to them so that they can see that I am educated, determined, and that I listen to what they have to say, and then I bounce that back, and then I see where they're needing some assistance, and then I parlay that back into what they're looking for, because it's really not about me, it's about them.
Gotcha. Okay.
I
All right,
got
that's
it.
good.
It's okay. So I'm back. I'm detail oriented and I care deeply about the people. And reaching their goal, like reaching their making it important, whatever is important to them, making it important to myself as well.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay. Carlos, you want to add anything in there? I'm not sure if you got your mic unmuted.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like Karen. I guess every situation is different, so I kind of tailor it to what they're looking for and listen to what they're looking for and needs, and I kind of tailor it towards each situation.
Yeah, those are all good things. I think it's important for, Tanya, I know I caught you off guard, but you should, think about this, like as you're out and you're at a brewery, you're at a church, you're at the gym, or you're at, you're baking events, like as you meet these people, I mean, this comes up a lot, right? Like why, because everybody knows 10, 15, 20 different agents, why does somebody want to work with you, right? So work on that, practice that. What makes you unique and special, and why do people want to work with you? I like to throw the company there. Like I feel like Realty One Group was a phenomenal company. So I work for a company that cares and then wants to get the job done, right? So my things, I'm going to make this a fun process. You're going to have a lot of fun, right? And people like my personality and they want to work with me because it's not going to be a boring experience. I also say that no one works harder than me, right? And then also, I'm not just going to get you an offer or get you under contract, but I'm going to get you to the finish line, right? I'm not going to be that agent that just get you under contract and you don't hear from again until that you're at the attorney's office. Like I'm going to hold your hand to the whole process. And that's something that people like, right? So that's part of my value proposition. So, I think it's important for you guys to, maybe don't have to necessarily write it out, but know that pitch, right? So if I ask you next week, which I might, have a little pitch, ready to go of what in it. And again, like Karen mentioned, it doesn't have to be salesy, right? But what you bring to the table and why people should work with you. And you should know that pretty quickly. Has everyone done their signature?
Hey, bro, I have a signature, but it doesn't look anything like that. It's basically just letters. Every time I try to switch it over to my email, it's like all the colors and the pictures and the nice font there. It doesn't come through. It's just straight black letters. It got the words, but and my picture don't come up. So I'm not sure if I'm doing it right, but I've been trying to work on it for a while, and it comes through doing the same thing.
What kind of email do you get? Gmail?
Yeah, Gmail.
Okay.
I have one that I created. It's on through our website, and I got my picture on it and everything, and our colors. Basically the stats and stuff like that, but it never comes through looking like that. It just comes through in just plain font, plain black and white font.
Gotcha. Well, I know. Well, I know to get to it. Let me see if I can stop sharing.
And I think I have to do it I've been doing it on the iPad, so I think I may have to do it on the computer.
Yeah, might be better to do it from your desktop. But I know that if you're going I know if you log into your one login, right? This is all the stuff that everyone has. If you go to One Design,
mm-hmm.
and you might see some of the crazy stuff that I have created in here. Lord knows. Some of my stuff that's at the top. But if you just type in signature, it'll give you, auto-populate some of the stuff that's in there, right? And I'm a One Lux agent, so I have some different stuff than you guys have, but there are regular signatures as well that'll come up in there. And then you can click on that and you can create it and download that. And then in Gmail, we can do a one-off. I can do a one-off, help you get it put in there. Because even when I put this in there, I had to edit the size of it to make it pop up, right? So when I go to compose, I've got this set up where this is, you guys can see my screen. So this is my signature in here. So it should, you should be able to have it set up where every time that you open it, it pops up just like that. So I'll work with you on that because I want to make sure that's important that your signature is on there and looks good. Trisha, have you been able to do that?
Help too. I don't have mine in either. I've been screwing around with it and I have Yahoo. So I could use some help with that too.
Oh, Yahoo. All right.
I actually copy pasted Amanda's. I talked to Amanda. I just copy pasted her signature and then put in my information. in Gmail, and that seemed to work well too. Like
Yeah, so a lot of people do that. I mean, if you can just copy and paste someone, when I first started, that's what I did, is why I copied actually Amanda's verbatim. But if you're going into your settings, see all settings, you should just be able to go down to your signature, create a new one, and then paste it in there and save it as that. And then you can adjust the size of it. Because I can do a one-on-one with you and Karen as well, if you need help.
Okay.
All right, are we back on this page? You guys can see the, okay. All right, so definitely important to have your signature in there, correct? What about your voicemail? Everyone set up, everyone good on that, obviously? Pretty short and sweet voicemails, doesn't need to be anything crazy long. Thankfully we're lucky because, you know, OT1 Group basically does all of our stuff. Like our website looks phenomenal, the social media stuff, the content they put out, so that it's easy just to share a lot of that stuff. And if you guys are not sharing some of that content that we share on a regular basis, you should be, because it's a no-brainer. It's things that we can do that we don't have to create. And you guys are right, younger and more hip on the social media, and you guys can create your own stuff. But I mean, the stuff that we put out is very easy to use. I will say the one thing that I try to do is images. I try to use the same picture from my yard signs, my business cards, to my social media. I try to have that the same across the board, so it's consistent. And I find that that's helpful, and versus if you have a different picture on every single thing, then it's harder for people to understand who you are, right? Google yourself, see what you find. Would you hire yourself? That's always a good question. Philosophy of farming. Tanya, when you think of farming, what do you think of?
Relationships. Like farming, like it's either, well, a philosophy of farming with people, right? It's relationships, but yeah, it takes time, it takes effort. You have to be intentional.
Mm-hmm. Ken, what do you think of when you think of farming?
Money. I think about how much money is going to cost. Somebody told me that she was getting $3 or $4 lottery tickets in the mail from certain real estate agents. And I'm thinking, crap, I can't follow that. I've got a mortgage that I have to pay, you know? So it worries me a little bit, because it's the campaign, it's the postcard cost, it's, you know, all of that. And I'm not afraid to talk to people, but farming is a little bit, it's over my realm of wheelhouse. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, there's definitely ways to do it where you're not spending money. And we'll talk about that. But yeah, I thought when you said money, you're thinking how much money you make off of it. You know, one of our agents, Lauren, in South Carolina, she does a lot of farming, and she's very good at it and very successful. There's a lot of people that do farming and make a career out of it. So we'll dive into that a little bit differently. A couple of different types of farming. Besides these three, what are different types of, how can you farm, right? Ty, what's an example of a type of farming?
I think social media.
Okay.
Social media and like advertising on Facebook and stuff, in the same groups and things.
Yeah.
Like popping
Yeah.
up often.
Yeah. This is Tanya's our TikTok star. So yeah, I figured you were gonna say something like that. Trisha, what's a type of farming that you know, more traditional type of farming?
I do marketplace and Craigslist ads.
Okay, so also social media. Yeah, okay. What
Or
about,
you mean as far as postcard, like I do postcards.
okay, so yeah, so we got social media, online, you got postcards, which is a pretty traditional one. In person, right? Walking neighborhoods, it's a good type of farming. on the phone, right? And that's what a lot of people do, is they'll pick a neighborhood and farm that neighborhood, right? And that's free, right? I mean, you get a list, or if you have to pay for your list, but that's very, very cheap. But calling farming and in-person farming, that's all stuff that is free. Social media stuff, right? I mean, that stuff is free as well. So there's a lot of ways to do it. I definitely would recommend for a new agent, or most people, sending out lottery tickets and spending that kind of money. It's a little gimmicky, and I'm not sure how ethical sending out lottery tickets is, but yeah, I would probably shy away from that. What are some benefits of farming an area?
You get to be their go-to person because they see you, they connect with you. You build relationships.
Yeah, for sure. What else? Carlos, any other benefits of farming a specific area?
They're, like you said, they get to know you, that your face will be familiar to them. When they think of real estate, they think of you because they think, you're in the area all the time, or they've seen you a lot, and they just, be, like she said, you'll be the go-to.
Yeah, you definitely want to be the go-to person in your farm area. What about makes your job easier, right? When you're farming a specific neighborhood, right? You know the price per square foot in that neighborhood. You know that neighborhood. You know the community. You know the active stuff. It makes your job a little bit easier when each person you talk to, right? As opposed to all over the place. What about just location itself, right? When you're farming a specific area, how much easier it is to control the area that you work, right? I've never been specific. I've never been good at farming a specific area. Because of that, I cover a much bigger territory, right? I mean, I'll probably be in Hickory tomorrow. I'm listing in Rock Hill right now. I've got one in Salisbury, got one in Statesville. I'm all over the place. I don't farm well, and because of that, I'm in a lot of different areas, right? So if you're successful at farming, you can really control where you're at, right? And obviously, if you're going to farm, ideally you farm somewhere near to you, right? Right. So if your commute's 5 minutes versus mine is 55 minutes, right? You've got a little bit of an advantage, right? So there's a lot of reasons to farm. Just got to get out there and do it. There's a million different places you can go on and get information for, a specific neighborhood, their phone numbers and address. We won't dive into all that, but there's a lot of different ways for you guys to do that. Has anyone ever door knocked? Karen, have you ever door knocked in your time?
I have. And, that's tricky because you don't want to appear like you're soliciting, because I live in a homeowners association and there are rigid rules against that. And I know that people have called police on real estate agents walking. So how you present yourself and how you talk is going to be imperative. One thing I do is I walk my neighborhood. I'm actually walking, and I might stuff some cards in my pocket. And if I'm talking to somebody or saying hello and we have an opportunity to have conversation, I'll weave it in. But I don't necessarily knock on doors outside of like a 10 or 15 house radius in my neighborhood, because I know how strict the HOA is. And so you have to be very aware. If you're going to walk into a neighborhood, you need to know what your bylaws are and what you're able to do. And I have walked with Andrea a couple of times as well, and she had a couple of clients that were interested in living in that neighborhood. That gives you an entry to knock on a door and have a conversation, but you just can't say, hey, I'm the real estate agent in the neighborhood and I'm looking for your business. There's a certain way that you need to introduce yourself.
Yes, I mean, certain neighborhoods are going to be more they're not going to like you door knocking, but yeah, again, it's all about your approach, right? So I mean, if you're knocking on someone's door and asking them if they want to list their house, that's very invasive, right? There's very cheap ways to make door tags that you can leave on there, and just leave them information or just introduce yourself. there's definitely an approach to do it. Having cards on you at all times is always a good idea. I know Tanya bought a cute hat. I'm a realtor, ask me about real estate or something like that. You know, it works because people will ask you about that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, door knocking is a specific area that you want to work in. I mean, you should hopefully always have some kind of buyer clients. There it is. That's the thing. I sell real estate.
It says
Yeah.
I sell houses.
I sell houses. Yes. I like it. But yeah, door knocking is a great way. And Tong was on here when he was in Rev Up, and we talked about this, and he knocked his neighborhood, and the next week he had a client from it, and he sold that client, right, just from knocking on a few doors. It's a good way to introduce yourself, especially if it's your own neighborhood, right? I can't tell you how many times in my own neighborhood I see a for sale sign goes up with another company, and it annoys the crap out of me, but at the same time, I'm not the greatest farmer, and it's my fault that I don't have that because I never introduced myself, right? So you don't want to do it as a pressure, or come into the home and be annoying. But if you're just introducing yourself, people don't mind that. People like that, right? So there's definitely right ways and wrong ways to do it.
If you need a hat, let me know, okay?
She will hook you up. These are some of the different ways we kind of talked about some of these things. This is a good way to do it. Market updates, as opposed to, pressuring people to list or sell their house. Send them information, right? So if you got people in your CRM, like I always, push, just give them updates about the market in general, right? And then people like that, right? They can either decide that they want to read it because they're interested, or they can delete it, right? But if they're interested and they read it, then there's a good chance they're going to reach out to you. Social media is.
Where do you get like the most up-to-date market updates? In the MLS, or where else would you find it? Like
There is a lot of good stuff in the MLS, and that's where I get a lot of my stuff. I don't subscribe to a lot of other stuff. But I also, because I follow so many other realtors on my business page, I'm always seeing stuff that they post, and I will share their stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Can you send me some information, or like people to follow, or pages to follow that have
Yeah,
good
of course.
information? Because I don't want to be putting out information that's like outdated or incorrect,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think, and again, another great thing about Realty One Group is they put out a lot of content, and then also by me following a bunch of other realtors, they put out content, and if it's good for me, then I can share that as well. So I think that's a great thing for you guys to do as well. Social media, circle prospecting, a monthly newsletter is good. And again, for you guys that are new, an introductory letter is a great idea, right? Let people know. And that's one of the biggest mistakes by new agents is they don't let people know that they do real estate, right? They're very shy or bashful. They'll share a showing, or they'll share one listing, but really put it out there that you do real estate, and it'll be very helpful for you. The details matter. What is a call to action? Somebody know what that is? You guys know what that is?
Yes, you give them something to do, like reach out to me, or let's go out for coffee, or like something that you give them like a task.
Yeah, so there's a lot of these, if you're marketing materials, whether it's online, whether it's a door tag that you're hanging on someone's door, whether it's a flyer that you're mailing to somebody, there should always be some kind of call to action, right? Go to my website and click here, right? Text this number, call this number, right? Email me. There's got to be some kind of follow-up or some kind of direction for them. Like, if you want to know how much your house is worth, do this, right? That call to action is what makes people do what you want them to do, right? So it's very important when you're putting content out there that you give them something to do with it, right? Because if you're not, you're just getting them interested in houses, and then the next person that posts something in front of them with a call to action, they're going to go to them, right? So make sure that you have that. Again, consistent message is very important, and consistent branding is super helpful. Can we kind of talk about this? Walking your farm, mailing your farm. there's a ton of different companies. I think Rosie One Group has a connection with that as well for doing mailings. There's also a lot of companies out there that do mailers. Obviously that comes with a little bit of money, a little bit of time in it, but it's also a good way to get your name out there. I could be wrong, but from what I hear with mailings is it does take several times for people to see your face, right? So maybe as opposed you just mail this neighborhood this one time and then the next month mail a different neighborhood, maybe continue to mail the same neighborhood, right? So they're consistently seeing your face. So if and when they get ready, they know Karen, right? They've seen Karen's face 10 times, like, all right, I'm gonna call Karen. So the consistency just in where you're doing it is very important as well. And I understand, just like any leads that you guys get, that anything that you guys receive as a potential client, it takes more than one touch, right? I find a lot of times, I mean, it might be 10, 15 times that I touch somebody, not physically, but like calling, texting, emailing, right? That I've reached out to them time and time again before they become a potential client, right? So just because you do something once and you don't get that feedback doesn't mean you should quit. But when it comes to mailing, I would recommend, if you're going to do that, find a neighborhood that you like, it's at the price point you want, and you feel comfortable talking about that, and do it and do it several times, right? And if you mailed a neighborhood and it would cost you $500 and you did that 3 times to get one client, well, how much do you make off one client, right? Is it 15 grand? So now you've got 1,500 and invested and you made 15 grand. Is that a good, return on investment for you? Those are the things you have to think about. Again, walking your farm is always free, and a great way to introduce yourself. So I also find that in my neighborhood, going to all of our community events is nice. And then again, like Karen mentioned, have business cards, wear a snazzy hat, and get your name out there is super helpful. Were you going to say something on that?
Yes, well, no, I'm not on the hat part, but I wanted to say call to action. Is there a way to put like on our website, right? Like do a QR code to our website, but then on the website have a like a window that pops up with like
a chat
to run a
box?
CMA,
Yeah.
to run a CMA, like, hey, I can do a market analysis of your house, put in your information here. Can we add something like that to our website?
I can check into that, Allison. And Allison, you might know, I have my own personal website that I had before, and I have that set up. I can check. I would imagine there is a way to do that, to contact us, but I'm not 100% sure. But there is a contact you section on your website.
There's a contact, but if it was like an actual like a part of
Like a
the
pop-up?
website where like, hey, fill this in for free CMA of your house or whatever, so that kind of more interaction, more call to action instead of
Right.
just go to my website and just see what's on there,
Right. Yeah, I'll check it out. Again, I don't use ours a ton, so I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you.
I can ask
but,
Amanda.
yeah,
Amanda
but
would know.
I would check into that.
But talking about hats, if you know events in your area and you don't want to be too salesy, you can wear a hat.
Wear a hat. Tips on walking your farm, again, obviously business cards. There's a walking the farm app, actually. What times are best, right? And again, just like at all times when you're calling people, you should try different times and see what works best for certain people, because some people work at home in the morning, some people are work in the evenings, right? A lot of people walk their farm in the evenings and have a lot of success because people tend to be home more, right? So if you're walking the farm, 5 to 7, in the evenings, you're probably gonna get a lot of people home. Maybe you don't want people to be home when you're farming because you're just dropping something off on your door, right? So maybe the mornings are best for that, right? So there's different approaches and different styles of doing it. How many homes do you see? I mean, set a goal for yourself. You're not going to walk your whole neighborhood in a day, right? Or you probably shouldn't, right? You should probably do a test area. Maybe you do a cul-de-sac of 20 homes and see what kind of feedback you get from that. And what time of day was it? What day was it? Were you leaving them something? What were you saying to them? and then reevaluate. And then the next day or the next week, you know, make some changes to that, and then try it again at different time, date, and all that, and see what works best for you. But taking notes is definitely super helpful.
For postcards and mailers and stuff, is there is there a website that you like using, or any kind of tool in that area?
Yeah, we do have tools within our one tool suite. I don't do any mailers, to be honest, but I know a lot of agents that have used it and have had a lot of success. And I get them all the time. Obviously, I'm not going to use it, but I've gotten some pretty clever postcards, and I do know that they work because they continue to send them out, and I see their yard signs all over the place. So it is a good strategy. It's just not something that I personally have used. Well, that's it for today. So we're gonna work on our one value proposition, right? We're gonna work on our little elevator pitch, and then maybe knock on some doors this week, or do some, Tanya, maybe it's on your social media, right? Like start doing a little bit of farming and see what kind of traction you guys can get.
Who do I ask to help me with that signature part? I need help doing my signature because it's not.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you guys all a copy. Trisha, Karen, and Carlos, the kind of like the main signature that most people use. I'll email to you directly, and then you can just edit it with your name, phone number, email address. And then if you need help putting it in your signature box, I can jump on a Zoom or a call with you.
Yeah, because it's not fitting in the print and everything isn't fitting. But anyway.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I can help you with that for sure.
And Tanya, you keep mentioning hats. Do you do visors? Because I don't wear hats. I wear visors around.
I can look at, so we do wood burn patches.
Oh, okay.
And we can do it on hats. These are the hats that I love, the trucker hats, but we can do visors as well.
Oh, do you actually make those? Those are yours?
Yeah. You'll see us probably pop up in different boutiques in Waxhaw downtown. There's a boutique that we're supposed to partner with, but they didn't pass inspection. So that didn't work out, but there's like a skate shop that I'll be reaching out to soon because we make skater hats. And then downtown Rock Hill, there was another boutique that we made a really good connection with. So you'll see our hats around, but usually we support small businesses and we'll do their logos and stuff. So this is a hat my husband designed for me. There's a couple of them, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Custom hats.
Yeah, well, make an extra one. I'll send you money for it. I'll wear it.
Hey, there's a hat where it's a house and a tag, and then there's one with a shopping cart and stuff. I'll send you the 2 designs that he made for me, so you could choose. But yeah, we do custom hats and maybe visors too. I have to just find. I care a lot about the actual hat itself too, so I try out different ones, and so I'll try visors and see if there's one that I really like. And I'll keep you posted, okay, Trisha?
Okay.
Yeah. And Karen asked a question about you're creating your own logos and stuff. You guys can't do that. Again, as long as you're incorporating in Realty One Group Revolution, but you'll see some other agents on their Facebook and stuff that'll post, Stacy's real estate sponsored by Realty One Group, whatever it is. But you guys can't do that. I mean, if you guys are going to create something, just make sure you run it past Andrea or somebody to get approval.
And Amanda does a good job. She sends out the actual logos and stuff, so you have an attachment of all different kind of backgrounds with it too. So you could, it makes it a lot easier, like in one email to.
Yeah, and all that stuff is in your tools as well, right? So I mean, like what Tanya mentioned, you might want to Realty One Group Revolution with a white background or black background, or you might want it clear so you can put it over top of something, right? So all that stuff, all our branding stuff, the specific colors that we use are all in your tool set, and all the guidelines for creating stuff and what we can do, what we can't say is all in there. So yeah, just make sure that you guys are doing that. So. All right. Well, this was a quick one this morning. This was fun. You guys have any more questions or? Good.
If you have any open houses that I can actually run.
Any open houses that I'm not going to cancel in the last hour? Yes, I will let you know.
My open houses keep getting canceled. I was supposed to run one for Kayla, it got canceled because it went under contract, and then yours, but I'll be happy to run. Yeah.
You are a good luck charm.
I try, you know. I
Yes,
just
yes. All right, guys. Well, hope everyone has a great Monday and a great week. If you need anything, let me know. And I'll send those signatures out for you guys now.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Later, guys.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Monday, everyone. Bye.